We're not done with the rain just yet. Who could see thunderstorms tonight? And a look at where Hurricane Melissa is headed next.
The father, accused of killing 4 of his children, is back in court in Johnston County today. The timeline police are laying out for these crimes and the shocking 911 call.
Insurance sticker shock. Costs are rising for teachers and other state employees. Coming up, why the state says its hands were tied.
Hurricane Melissa down to a Category 1 tonight. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Dan Haggerty. You can see some of the video, though, of what was left behind in Jamaica. Houses torn apart. Those hurricane-force winds there forcing people to lose everything in that area. We know at least 36 people are dead across Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. In the middle, you see here, this is where Melissa is headed next, the Bahamas. That is now in the storm's path. Kat Campbell joining us now, really just the beginning of the tragedy unfolding there in the Caribbean tonight as we learn more every minute.
And, you know, some of the information we haven't even gotten yet, some of the worst hit areas because of the communications going down there, similar to what we saw in the mountains during Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Melissa is now a Category 1 storm. It's made 2 landfalls, so no surprise that it's weakening. Now moving through the Bahamas as a Category 1 hurricane with maximum winds of 90 miles per hour. It's going to pick up some speed. The jet stream helps to sweep it away from the Bahamas, but it will eventually make its way close to Bermuda, though it may not be a direct hit as we get toward the end of the work week. For us here at home, our next weather maker is quickly approaching from the west. This is going to be our final round of rain for the week. We've got the rain starting to push into the mountains. For us, it's been a drizzle all day, but that changes tonight. Midnight through about 9 a.m. will be our best chance for rain. Maybe even a rumble of thunder, though we're not expecting anything severe. And I want to alert you, there could be some patchy dense fog. We often see that when we're on the north side of a warm front, and that'll be the case for a little time period tonight. Some showers approaching from the west. Even though you're not seeing it here in our area, there's a lot of drizzle that the radar is just scanning too high to actually see. But some scattered showers, a little higher in intensity, move through overnight. And early tomorrow morning, for the early morning risers, we've got some rain around 6 a.m. in our eastern counties, but that is all out of here by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'll let you know what's left behind coming up.
All right, thanks, Kat. Brian Schrader here in the WRAL Live Center. Breaking news, all new at 7 o'clock tonight. A fired Raleigh police officer accused of accepting a sexual favor on the job in exchange for overlooking a DWI investigation is facing new charges tonight. This is Tremail Cogdell, and he's now facing 5 counts of soliciting prostitution from 5 different people in August and September. A grand jury handed up that indictment yesterday. This is video from Cogdell's first court appearance on October 6th. You recall that when the initial charges emerged in this story, Raleigh police fired Cogdell.
All right, thank you, Brian. The Zebulon man accused of a horrendous crime, killing 4 of his children, was back in court today, now being held without bond. Wellington Dickens III is charged with murdering his 3 biological children and his 18-year-old stepson. Investigators tell us the kids have been dead for months, and Dickens stored their bodies in a trunk of his car. When officers came to arrest him, they found a 3-year-old who was alive in the house. A lot to unpack here. WRL's Eric Miller joining us live from Johnston County. Eric, the 911 call really central to this case. Dickens, in that call, confessing to the crime, saying, quote, "It's my fault." You have a few of those clips to play for us tonight.
Absolutely, Dan. So much of that call so hard to listen to, and as you said, likely to be central to the court case that is continuing to play out here in Johnston County. Now, Dickens was back in court today for the second time. It was a very brief appearance, and he walked out of that courtroom and went straight back to jail. He's now been denied bond on all 4 of these charges, and because he's facing the death penalty here, is being represented by an attorney from the Capitol Defender's Office.
For the second day in a row, Wellington Dickens stepped into court charged with killing 4 of his children. This time, he clutched a single piece of paper, a Department of Social Services document spelling out the future of his one surviving child.
Mr. Dickens, do you understand what Mr. DA has described?
Dickens' appearance lasted just minutes, but the district attorney wasted no time spelling out what's on the line for this father, now accused of quadruple murder.
Maximum possible punishment of life in prison or the death penalty.
The sheriff, as a father, And as a grandfather, I can stand here and say there's no reason for a father to murder his children.
During a press conference Wednesday, Sheriff Steve Bizzle revealed Dickens' children were killed over the course of 5 months, starting with daughter Leah, just 6 years old, and ending with Sean Brasfield, Dickens' 18-year-old stepson, a month before Dickens called 911.
My personal opinion is something got to him and he was just ready to give it up, ready to turn himself in.
On that 911 call, Dickens described what happened.
Okay, how did you do it?
I beat on them sometimes. They didn't want to eat. I didn't force them to eat. I told them that it was a punishment not to eat. I did a bunch of different little things.
The call suggests those things eventually took a toll.
And I just can't take it no more. I never did this before. Man, this stuff is crazy.
Okay, sir.
And I got my son. I just feel guilty. Guilty as hell.
And among the questions still hanging over this case at this point, how could nobody know that these children were missing month after month? Just this evening, we've confirmed with the Johnston County Sheriff's Office that at no point did anybody reach out to them to report these children missing or even just to ask for a welfare check. Now, in that press conference today, Sheriff Steve Bizzle said he believes that's the result of this family keeping to themselves, these children being homeschooled, simply being too isolated from anyone to notice they were gone.
You know, Eric, speaking of questions that still haven't been answered, one thing we're curious about is the 3-year-old son, the child who survived. What has come of this kid? Where is the kid tonight? I know you brought some questions up to officials today. What did they tell you?
Well, Dan, we've been asking that question all day long. We know that there was an emergency placement hearing that happened here at the Johnston County Courthouse earlier today. We don't know what the result of that hearing was, whether this 3-year-old child has been placed with DSS or with a family member. We took that question to Johnston County DSS. We took that question to an attorney who was involved in that proceeding earlier today. We're told they cannot tell us, as this is simply too sensitive. Records involving a child are almost never released, even in a case as serious as this one. Nonetheless, earlier today, Sheriff Bizzle did say that child is safe and has been taken to a doctor for a medical examination.
All right, Eric Miller, live for us tonight. Eric, thank you. Let's get you to some of the other big headlines. These are the 5 things you should know right now. Highway 70 reopened after a tractor trailer slammed into a bridge. Video here of the aftermath near Rand Road in Garner. You can see the damage to that trailer and cargo. No one was hurt. Some encouraging news out of Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa moves out. The newlyweds from Halifax County who were vacationing there say they are okay. They sent a message to WRAL this afternoon saying they were fortunate to avoid the worst of the storm. State officials say the big hiring rush at the DMV is improving wait times. They say wait times are down more than 30%. Still pretty long wait. The average is about 90 minutes. WakeMed just got the green light to build a new facility in Rollsville. It'll include a 24/7 emergency department and expects to serve around 8,000 patients in its first year. The facility will be right across the street from Rollsville Middle School. It's set to open in 2027. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates again, their second rate cut so far this year. It's another quarter-point cut, bringing rates to the lowest level they've been in 3 years. The Fed meets again in December. Around this time of year, millions of people sign up for next year's health care plan. Whether you're on your company's insurance plan or Obamacare or the state health plan, maybe you're one of many people feeling that sticker shock. Health insurance is expensive, and the price just went way up for the state employees in North Carolina. WRL's Destiny Patterson heard from public school teachers who say their premiums have tripled.
Wake County kindergarten teacher Diana Faircloth calls her job her true love.
The kids, that's the part that I love.
But outside of the classroom, she and other state employees are dealing with rising health insurance costs.
My premium has almost tripled.
Teachers who make more will now also have to pay more for their insurance. It's part of an overall premium increase for the state health plan starting next year.
Experienced teachers like myself with 30 years, we are getting the hardest hit.
Tom Friedman with but the state treasurer's office says they had no choice but to raise prices after years of not doing so. Increasing healthcare costs contributed to a $500 million deficit for the upcoming year.
When you're out of money and have a deficit, you've got to generate more revenue.
Along with frustration also comes confusion for some school districts. The treasurer sent out this alert about inaccurate salary information. It notes that the salary should include any local supplements. That's how districts are supposed to calculate how much each employee owes. But Wake County officials say that wasn't exactly clear initially.
Early on, the state health plan pushed out some misleading information.
While some districts like Wake County did have it right, others are having to revise the premium costs for their employees. Friedman wouldn't share which districts had to make corrections, but those that do are working to fix them. When they do, it could mean educators will have to shell out even more money out of pocket.
We get the smallest raises, if any raise. So essentially, we're taking a pay cut at this point to pay for our insurance premium increase.
Now, the treasurer's office says that the open enrollment deadline will not be extended as districts make some adjustments. It says that the state health plan will instead make necessary adjustments through an exceptions process after open enrollment. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Still ahead, the NCAA is slowing their roll, delaying a decision on whether to let student athletes gamble on professional sports. After the scandal in the NBA, just about every sports league has to think about this, and we're going to talk about it in Murph's Turf after this. Also, stick around for tonight's One Last Thing as we answer the question, how did Raleigh get its name? We're back in 2 minutes. Should college athletes be allowed to gamble on professional sports? That's the question now in front of the NCAA. Earlier this month, kind of looked like a done deal. Committees in all three divisions of college sports gave it the okay. But then the NBA scandal. That gambling scandal hit the news, and this week the NCAA delayed making a final decision. To get a better idea of where we go from here, Ashley Rowe spoke to WRAL investigative sports reporter Brian Murphy and took a trip to Murph's Turf.
All right, Murph, I need you to help me understand this. So the NCAA delayed this vote. What's the real reason behind it?
Well, the SEC, led by Commissioner Greg Sankey, probably the most powerful person in college athletics, was opposed to it. We saw Pitt football coach Pat Narduzzi come out against it as well, especially in the light of the NBA gambling scandal. I think a lot of college administrators, officials decided, is this really the right thing to do?
Yeah, this NBA bombshell really has, I think, rattled a lot of people. Why is that story directly impacted this?
Yeah, I think it cuts at the very integrity of sport, right? If you can't trust what you're seeing, then all of this goes away. This multi-billion-dollar industry kind of fades away if fans can't trust what they're seeing on the field. Mm-hmm. And so, the NCAA is trying to decide where to draw that line. Gambling is so pervasive. It's in 38 states. Right here in North Carolina, it's legal. And so do you say college kids can't bet on anything? College athletes can't bet on anything? Or this tried to split the baby a little bit and said, you can't bet on college, but you can bet on the pros. So if you want to place a bet on the Super Bowl or a random NBA game, that would be allowed, but betting on college would still be prohibited. I think some of these officials are saying we've got to keep a bright line that says no gambling on anything.
And it's not just about what the final score of the game is. I mean, when we talk about sports betting and gambling now, there's so many layers to it with all of these prop bets.
Yeah, this is the big problem, right? It used to be if you wanted to affect the outcome of a game, you had to affect the entire outcome of a game. And that's how gamblers can make money. But now you can bet on whether this player or that player is going to grab 5 rebounds or score 10 points. We've seen this like in social media where an athlete wins a game but didn't get enough rebounds, and so he has to deal with a whole bunch of venom online. But it also has a profound impact on gambling. If you can bet that the next pitch is going to be a ball or a strike, that's pretty easy to do in the context of a game and not feel like you're throwing the game. You know, and you can fake an injury and you're out of the game. That's at the heart of some of these NBA scandals. You don't play your regular number of minutes and thus all your underbets cash. Well, if somebody has that information or if somebody knows that's going to happen, it's a very good opportunity to make a lot of money.
What do you expect is going to happen between now and the time of the vote?
I don't think this is going to pass. I think that the powerful forces are aligned against this. I think keeping that bright line is very important. to the integrity of the game. And so I think everyone, not only these sports leagues, but the American public is going to have to come to terms with how we want to deal with sports gambling. Do we want to get rid of some of these prop bets? Do we want to shrink the market of available bets out there? Because this scandal, I don't think, is going to end. I think we're going to see it. We've seen it in Major League Baseball. We've seen it in the NBA. We've seen it in college. It's only a matter of time before it affects every sport.
Murph, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
The dreary day turns into a dreary night. Kat Campbell with our forecast.
Just one more left, and then we get to see the sun again tomorrow. Drizzle out there right now. It's hard for the radar to see, but we do have some patchy light rain moving in from the west. So we're going to transition from drizzle to light rain. And then overnight, there could be a couple of areas of more moderate rain. We needed the rain, and we finally got some rain. A lot of areas, about 2 inches of rain from this week. We did have Clinton as well as South Hill. That's all a little less, closer to an inch. But that's pretty good compared to what we've seen for the rest of the month of October. This brings us to a grand total of just over 2 inches of rain this month at RDU. We had a couple of days with a 1/4 inch of rain, but just a couple days with, barely any rain out there. So these days with about 3/4 of an inch, that has definitely added to the bucket for the month. And our next weather maker tonight could bring a little bit more rain, but I don't think it's going to add too significantly to those totals. We've got this area of low pressure as well as these fronts swinging in. Now, when we're north of a warm front like this, we often see fog develop. That may be the case out there tonight. A heads up, and then here's that line of rain that's going to swing through the area. It could even bring an isolated rumble of thunder, though we're not expecting any kind of severe weather from this tonight. The severe weather threat is to our east, closer to the coast and the Outer Banks. And tomorrow morning, we start with a pretty decent chance for rain at 5 a.m. That chance quickly goes down to 30% by 8 a.m. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s as you're waking up, and the rain should be clearing out of here by 9 a.m. even for our eastern counties. So if you're at the bus stop early tomorrow morning, there could be some showers left over east of Raleigh. Definitely check in with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner before you leave your house. She'll let you know which towns still need to have an umbrella on hand. You won't need it for the rest of the day, though, after the morning. It's a nice afternoon, dry, breezy. High temperatures reach the mid-60s. But out there tonight, it is gray. You can see we are locked into the overcast. Pretty quiet night, the wind dying down a little bit out at the state legislative building. We are really beginning to see some of our fall color pop across central North Carolina. The mountains had their turn. We're not at peak fall color, but we're definitely seeing a lot more color. If you've got any pictures of it in your neighborhood, go to WRAL.com and search Report It. Send us those pictures. Or even easier, take the picture on your phone, open up the WRAL weather app, and click on the Report It button. We love to showcase some on TV. Melissa remains a Category 1 hurricane as it moves through the Bahamas tonight. They're under a hurricane warning. The Turks and Caicos under a tropical storm warning. Cuba, as well as Jamaica, has seen their advisories, their warnings dropped. The worst is over, but of course the cleanup is going to take quite some time in the southern Caribbean. Here locally, over the next 3 days, we finally get to see the sun return. Highs are in the mid-60s. It's a great Halloween weekend. Trick-or-treating temperatures do dip into the 50s, so factor that into the costumes, and we should see a little bit more rain early next week.
Good. Thank you, Kat. Have you ever wondered why Raleigh is called Raleigh? If you think it's because this guy discovered the place, well, you'd be wrong. A little jaunt through history in our One Last Thing after the break. One last thing. On this day, 407 years ago, Sir Walter Raleigh, the city of Raleigh's namesake, was executed in London. He had just returned from an expedition to South America. The king had sent them there to look for gold. Raleigh didn't find any gold, but he did attack the Spanish outpost there. The king accused Raleigh of trying to incite a war with Spain, so when he returned, Raleigh was executed for treason. The story kind of got us thinking, why is the city of Raleigh named after this guy? I mean, think about it. He died in 1618. The city wasn't founded until 1792, 170 years later. So why Raleigh? You see, Sir Walter Raleigh was put in charge of many expeditions, not just the gold rush in South America. He directed many English voyages to the New World. One of them landed on the Outer Banks, and it became known as Fort Raleigh. History knows it now as the Lost Colony because 3 years after the settlers arrived, they vanished without a trace. Archaeologists still look for clues today, and the story is now the subject of a famous play performed on Roanoke Island. The thing is, even though Sir Walter Raleigh directed those trips, he himself never actually came here. So to recap, the expedition was at the coast, not inland, and Raleigh never actually set foot in North America, but our state capital is named after him. Are you lost too? There is more to it. Fast forward to 1792 when state leaders made the decision. At the time, lots of cities wanted to get that capital status: Hillsborough, Halifax, Smithfield, Fayetteville, New Bern, Tarboro. But lawmakers decided no, they're going to build a brand new city instead. These are some of the earliest design plans you're seeing here. The state bought land in Wake County, owned by a man named Joel Lane. They wanted to give the city a historic name, but not something named after kings and queens. Lots of cities had already done that: Charlotte, Elizabeth City, Charleston, Annapolis, Williamsburg, just to name a few. So instead, they went with this guy, Sir Walter Raleigh. Using his name, well, it meant tying the new city to ideas of exploration and colonization without honoring the monarchy. The exposition to the Outer Banks and the Lost Colony gave him some loose ties to the area, and, well, there you have it. They went with Raleigh. Thanks for making WRAL your choice for local news. Our next newscast is at 10 o'clock on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.